Life isn't about just getting through the day. It's about making the day work for you. Person, it's about building a system where your actions align with your values, your goals, and your sense of purpose. Most people live reactively, waiting for things to happen, waiting for signs, waiting for motivation. But the truth is, life that works is built, not found. Person. So let me share with you 7 rules, not just principles, but anchors, for a life that truly works. Clarity is the foundation upon which every meaningful achievement is built. When you lack clarity, even your hardest work feels scattered. Person, like running fast, but in the wrong direction. But when you know what you're working toward, when your purpose is clear, every step has meaning. You stop chasing random goals and start aligning your actions with what truly matters. Clarity gives your energy direction, and direction gives your life power. Without it, even the most talented people lose momentum, but with it, even ordinary people do extraordinary things. Clarity begins with self-awareness. Person. It's about asking yourself, what do I really want? Not what others expect, not what looks impressive, but what genuinely fulfills you. Person. Most people never take the time to answer that question deeply. They're too busy reacting to life instead of designing it. Person. When you pause long and understand your values, your strengths, and your purpose, confusion fades. Suddenly, person, your goals make sense because they're connected to who you are, not who you think you should be. That's where true power begins, inside the quiet certainty of knowing yourself. When you gain clarity, you also gain courage. Person, you stop being paralyzed by comparison because your path becomes uniquely yours. You're no longer tempted to copy someone else's success or follow the crowd because your focus is internal, not external. The person. Clarity gives you permission to say no to distractions, to unnecessary obligations, to things that drain you. It's not about doing more. Person, it's about doing what matters most. And when you live with that kind of focus, you stand taller, speak with confidence, and move with purpose. Person. The beauty of clarity is that it simplifies life. When you're clear, decisions that once felt heavy become effortless. Person, you stop second guessing yourself because you have a compass guiding every choice. The stress that comes from uncertainty begins to fade, replaced by a quiet strength that keeps you steady even when life gets loud. Clarity turns chaos into order, confusion into confidence. Person, not magic, it's alignment. And alignment is what makes your mind, heart, and actions work as one. Clarity doesn't come all at once. It grows through reflection and action. You find it piece by piece. Through failures, questions, and honest conversations with yourself. Person. Every mistake teaches you what doesn't belong. Every win reveals what does. The clearer you get, the lighter you feel. The person, because you stop carrying things that don't serve your vision. You begin to see your path not as a maze, but as a journey of refinement. Person. That's the quiet brilliance of clarity. It doesn't just tell you where to go, it shows you who you are becoming. And when clarity becomes your way of life, person, you stop surviving and start leading. You lead yourself first, your thoughts, your emotions, your priorities, and everything else follows. Person, people around you notice the difference. Your presence feels grounded, your words have weight, your decisions have intention. Person, because clarity doesn't just create power, it is power. It's the unseen force behind confidence, progress, and peace. When you know what truly matters, person, life stops happening to you and starts happening for you. Time is a resource everyone talks about, but energy is the real currency of achievement. Person, you can have all the hours in the world, but if you're drained, distracted, and uninspired, those hours mean nothing. Person, protecting your energy means being intentional about what and who you allow to influence your mindset. Every interaction, every environment. Person, every thought either fuels you or depletes you. The people who thrive are not those with the most time, person, but those who know how to guard their energy and direct it toward what truly matters. Your energy is sacred because it determines the quality of your focus, person, your creativity, and your drive. When you wake up feeling exhausted before the day even begins, that's not just lack of sleep, it's a lack of boundaries. Person, you can't say yes to everything and expect to feel alive. Every high yes to something meaningless is a silent no to your well-being. Protecting your energy means being brave enough to walk away from chaos, gossip, and negativity, because those things rob you of the fuel you need to move forward. It's not selfish, it's strategic. When you learn to guard your energy, you start noticing what drains you. Sometimes it's not people, it's patterns. The endless scrolling, the comparison traps, the overthinking, the need to please everyone. These small leaks of energy seem harmless, person, but they add up until you feel burned out without even knowing why. The solution isn't more caffeine or motivation. It's clarity and boundaries. Person, choose where your attention goes, because where your attention goes, your energy flows. The goal isn't to do more, it's to do what keeps you fully alive. Energy management is emotional management. When you spend too much time in stress, anger, or anxiety, you drain your inner battery. Person, protecting your energy means choosing peace over drama, discipline over distraction, and gratitude over resentment. You can't always control your circumstances, but you can control your state. A calm mind produces stronger decisions. A grateful heart attracts better energy. Every time you protect your inner peace, person, you strengthen your outer results. Think about your energy like a light, bright, warm, and powerful. When you give it away too easily, it dims. But when you nurture it, it glows stronger, inspiring everyone around you. Protecting your energy doesn't mean isolating yourself. Person, it means being selective about what deserves your presence. It's saying, person, I will not let the noise of the world drown out the voice of my purpose. The stronger your energy, the more magnetic your impact becomes. You draw opportunities, people and moments that match your frequency. So protect your energy as if your future depends on it, because it does. Time can be managed, energy must be preserved. When you honor your energy, you honor your potential. You start working from fullness, not exhaustion. You begin showing up with passion, not pressure. Person, and that's when everything changes. Your relationships, your work, your peace, your life. Person, protecting your energy isn't about doing less. It's about giving your best only where it truly counts. Person, growth is never born from comfort. It's forged in discomfort, in the moments that challenge your limits and push you beyond what you think you can handle. Comfort feels safe, predictable, and easy, but it also keeps you stuck. The mind loves familiarity, even when it holds you back. Person, growth demands that you step into the unknown, where fear whispers and courage is tested. Person, it's in that tension between who you are and who you're becoming that transformation happens. Every time you choose discomfort over convenience, you stretch your capacity to live, lead, and achieve. The truth is, comfort doesn't change you, it preserves you. It keeps you repeating old patterns. Person, clinging to habits that no longer serve your future. Growth asks for sacrifice, for vulnerability, for the willingness to fail publicly and start again privately. It's uncomfortable to confront your weaknesses, to admit you don't have it all figured out. But those who grow don't chase perfection. They chase progress. Person, they understand that growth isn't a destination, it's a lifestyle built on the courage to keep moving when the path feels uncertain. Person, discomfort is a teacher that few are willing to learn from. It reveals your strength, your resilience, and your true priorities. When you face resistance, person, it's not a sign to quit, it's proof that you're expanding. The muscles of your character are built in moments of struggle, not ease. Growth is messy, person, unpredictable and often painful, but it's also liberating. Because with every challenge overcome, you gain confidence. Not the kind that's loud, person, but the kind that's quiet, grounded, and unshackable. The greatest achievements in life always begin with a leap of faith. Starting a new project, person, ending what's no longer working, or taking the risk that scares you most. You'll never feel fully ready, and that's okay. Growth doesn't wait for readiness. Person, it responds to willingness. The more you face discomfort, the more familiar it becomes, until one day, what once scared you now strengthens you. Person, that's how you evolve, not by avoiding the hard things, but by walking straight through them with open eyes and determined heart. Growth also demands patience. Person, when you plant a seed, you don't dig it up the next day to see if it's growing. You water it, trust it, and give it time. The same is true for your goals. The uncomfortable waiting, the uncertainty, the setbacks, all of it is part of the process. The discomfort you feel is growth in disguise. Person, you're being shaped into someone stronger, wiser, and more capable. And the moment you embrace that truth, person, discomfort stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like progress. When you live with the mindset that growth begins where comfort ends, person, life opens up in extraordinary ways. You stop fearing failure because you see it as feedback. You stop craving ease. You stop because you realize that pressure creates diamonds. Every time you step beyond what's familiar, you step closer to who you were meant to be. Person, the growth is not about escaping discomfort. It's about transforming it into strength. And once you understand that, person, you'll never settle for a comfortable life when you were born for a meaningful one. The most powerful commitment you can ever make is the one you make to yourself. Person, every promise you keep builds confidence. Every promise you break erodes it. Person, when you say you'll do something, and actually follow through, you teach your mind to trust your word. That trust becomes the foundation of your self-belief. Person, but when you constantly break your own promises, you don't just lose motivation, you lose faith in your own potential. Person, keeping promises to yourself isn't about perfection, it's about integrity. It's the daily act of proving to yourself that your words mean something. Person, most people are great at keeping promises to others, but struggle to honor the ones they make to themselves. We'll show up for everyone else, even when we're tired. Person, but we make excuses when it comes to our own goals. That's because keeping promises to yourself requires self-respect, not external validation. Person, it's choosing to do what you said you would, even when no one is watching. Every time you follow through on a workout, a project, or a personal boundary, you're sending a message to your brain, I can trust me. And that's where unshockable confidence begins. Keeping your promises doesn't mean you'll never fail. It means you'll stay consistent even when it's hard. Discipline is built one small promise at a time. So when you say, I'll wake up early, and you do, that's not just an action. It's a signal of self-leadership. When you say, I'll focus today, and you honor that, you're building momentum. Over time, these small acts compound into something powerful: identity. Person, you no longer have to push yourself because following through becomes who you are. Your habits stop being forced. They become your nature. Person, the promises you keep to yourself are the silent builders of your self-worth. They remind you that you are capable of keeping order in your own world. Person, even when the outer world feels chaotic, when you honor your word, you create internal stability, a sense of power that no failure or opinion can shake. Person, this is how strong people are built, not through motivation, but through commitment. You don't need louder goals, you need stronger promises. Person, and the courage to keep them when it's inconvenient. When you break promises to yourself, person, it's not just about the task left undone, it's about the trust that gets weakened. That's why rebuilding self-trust is a process. It starts with small, person, realistic commitments. If you promise to write for 10 minutes, do that. If you promise to take a walk, keep that. You don't rebuild confidence overnight. Person, you rebuild it by collecting small wins. Each kept promise is a brick in the foundation of your self-belief. Over time, you'll notice something incredible. You stop negotiating with your excuses and start living in alignment with your truth. Person, keeping promises to yourself is the highest form of self-love. It's the act of standing by your word even when it's inconvenient. Person, of doing what's right over what's easy. When you can rely on yourself, you no longer chase validation from others because your strength comes from within. Person, you become your own source of accountability, motivation, and pride. And that's the magic of self-integrity. When you honor your promises, you become unstoppable. Because if you can trust yourself to follow through, there's nothing you can't build, achieve, or become. The people around you are more powerful than you realize. Your circle silently shapes your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your destiny. Person, you become a reflection of the energy you surround yourself with, whether it's ambition or apathy, growth or gossip, purpose or distraction. Person, if you spend time with people who complain, you'll start finding reasons to complain. But if you surround yourself with those who believe, build, and push forward, person, their energy will elevate you. Your circle isn't just about friendship, it's about alignment. The right people don't just make you feel good, they make you better. Your circle influences your standards. When you're surrounded by people who dream small, person, you start lowering your own expectations just to fit in. But when your circle includes visionaries, those who talk about progress, purpose, person, and possibilities, you can't help but rise. You begin to see yourself differently because they see more in you than you do in yourself. They hold you accountable, person, not because they doubt you, but because they believe in your potential. A strong circle won't let you stay average. Person, they'll challenge your comfort zone and remind you that you're capable of more. The truth is, growth and comfort rarely coexist. Person, the same applies to relationships. Sometimes outgrowing people is a necessary act of love for yourself and for them. And you can't keep evolving while clinging to those who refuse to. Protect your energy from those who drain it. Protect your dreams from those who mock them. Person, not everyone deserves access to your inner circle. That space should be reserved for people who inspire you to become your best self. Person, letting go isn't rejection, it's redirection toward your purpose. The best circles are built on mutual growth, not competition. When one person wins, everyone celebrates because everyone knows they're next. There's no jealousy, no insecurity, just shared momentum. Person. The right people don't just inspire you when things are good, they remind you who you are when things fall apart. They push you to keep going when your motivation fades. And in that environment, growth becomes contagious. The energy of your circle becomes your fuel. Person. Keeping your fire alive even when life tests your strength. Your circle also determines your emotional and mental environment. Person, if you spend time with people who are always anxious, angry, or negative, you'll absorb that energy without realizing it. Person. But when you connect with those who are calm, grounded, and driven by purpose, you begin to reflect that same energy. Person. It's not just about success, it's about peace. The people closest to you should remind you of balance, not chaos. Person. They should help you see life through possibility, not limitation. Choose people who feed your spirit, not those who starve it. Building the right circle is an act of intention. You don't attract the people you want, you attract who you are. So, focus on becoming the kind of person who uplifts others, who speaks truth, who shows up with integrity. The stronger your character, person, the stronger the people you'll draw into your life. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to think bigger, act braver, and love deeper. Person, because at the end of the day, your circle doesn't just shape your future, it shapes you. And if you choose wisely, person, that future will be everything you've dreamed of and more. Fulfillment isn't found in what you get. It's discovered in what you give. Person, the world teaches us to chase success, status, and recognition, but true peace doesn't come from accumulation, it comes from contribution. Person, when you shift your focus from what can I gain to how can I serve, something extraordinary happens, your life expands. Service gives meaning to your work, depth to your relationships, and purpose to your days. The joy of helping others, of adding value without expectation. It fills a void that achievements alone can never reach. Service transforms how you see yourself. Person, it reminds you that you are not here just to exist, but to make a difference, no matter how small, when you use your time, talent, and energy to uplift others. Person, you create ripples that reach far beyond what you can see. Every act of kindness, every word of encouragement, every moment spent making someone else's life better is a quiet act of legacy. The irony of life is that when you serve others, you end up serving your own soul, you find strength, purpose, and fulfillment in the very act of giving. Person, fulfillment through service doesn't require grand gestures or wealth. It's not about changing the whole world, it's about changing someone's world. Person, it's the teacher who inspires a child to dream, the friend who listens when someone feels unheard, the leader who chooses empathy over ego. Person, service is not limited by position or power, it's fueled by intention. It's about showing up with heart, even when no one's watching. Person, because the greatest impact often comes from the quiet things that never make the headlines but forever change a life. Serving others also brings clarity to your purpose. It's in giving that you often discover what you were made to do. Person, when you align your talents with the needs of others, your life takes on a deeper rhythm, a flow that feels natural and fulfilling. Person, success without service feels empty because it serves only the self. But when your success helps others rise, it becomes meaningful. Person, the most fulfilled people are not those who have the most, but those who give the most from who they are. Service also teaches humility and gratitude. Person, it reminds you that you are part of something larger than yourself. It breaks the illusion of isolation and connects you to the human experience. When you serve, you see beyond your problems, you gain perspective. The things that once felt overwhelming lose their weight when you realize how much good you can do in someone else's life. Gratitude becomes your fuel. Person and service becomes your language of purpose. Together, they create a life that feels whole. In the end, person, fulfillment through service isn't about recognition. It's about resonance. It's about knowing that you've used your life to make the world a little brighter. The smiles you inspire, the hope you restore, the comfort you offer, those are the real measures of success. Because fulfillment doesn't come from standing above others, it comes from standing beside them. When you choose to serve, you stop asking, what can I take from life? And start asking, what can I give to it? And in that shift, you discover that the more you give, the more whole you become.